I feel like if you're granted bail, you granted bail because you are not a threat, right?
Yeah.
So how is a rapist let go?
She was introduced to us as a traditional healer. She was selling traditional medicine. Right now, she is stepping into this. She has started organizing prayer sessions.
Piano has taken over the waves so much, but now it's reached a plateau.
What's good, people? It is another exciting episode of Dot Trends Podcast right here with your faves. I am your guy, your one and only boy, Denisha, the Levitator. And of course, I'm not doing this show by myself. I am joined by my wonderful co-pilots. Take it away.
It's show. Well, Real Makivano here, aka Abuti Wama 2K. It is going to be a very jam-packed show for you. I mean, you can see these days we've been, exploring the studio and changing the setups. So clearly, it's gonna be a good one.
It really is going to be a good one.
Superstar.
Well, I don't have a fantastic intro like any of you guys, but here, Tezipi here and dressed like a chef to cook a show. But well,
You got it.
Nah, let it be a hot
got
one. Dressed like a chef to cook the show.
yeah, well,
Man, let's get into it because what?
So we're going to start with trending news, and I just want to find out, what shoe size are you?
what if I said 7?
What if?
What if I said 1?
Are you still operating with what if?
Well, I'm a size 3. Everyone, as you can see, tiny feet and warm. Leave me alone, little
You
please.
reminded me of the arguments at Tiny Hands and Tiny Feet.
I'm giving Cairo.
All right, let's drop the first one. Let's talk about Zanzu.
Yes, it's Gatla. It's Gatla. Do you guys follow the story?
yeah.
All right, I'll go first, right? Because it's not really something that is enticing, especially, with someone who's not from our country. But the background story is that Zanzu, it's a nightclub in Pretoria, right? So what transpired is that the bouncer was caught on camera, assaulting and sexually abusing the staff there, because there was a video that was actually making rounds, but also there was another bouncer who has worked for the guy who owns Zanzu and other clubs as well, who's no longer part of the team, who was actually, helping navigate the story, dishing out a whole lot of stuff that has been happening prior to the video that went viral. So, but then the main issue that is really frustrating the country at this point in time is that person got 10,000 bail, I think I stand to be corrected.
And I mean, what is that?
What is that really?
It's called bail.
I mean,
Bail
what
is
is
when they grant you, the access to leave jail for time being, as your case is still pending.
But I feel like we all know that we all know what bail means in South Africa, right?
Do we?
Yeah. As soon as somebody leaves, bail, we never see the case. That's where it ends. But because this one made rounds, they might make a big hoo-ha around it and maybe try and make it a story.
I think it was a big hoo-ha.
I think we all know where it ends. Especially when people are granted bail. I feel like if you're granted bail, you granted bail because you are not a threat, right?
Yeah.
So how is a rapist let go? Like what grants you bail as a rapist?
Okay, but also, can we say they are rapists? Because on the video, the victims were doing
Instructed.
What
They
is
were
rape?
instructed.
What is rape?
Okay.
Maybe we will
Maybe let's
take
define.
It was forced. It was forced.
Maybe let's
Yeah.
define
It was
rape.
against their will.
Exactly. Am I not doing any sexual act without any consent from me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is rape.
That is rape.
True,
But then also, if you guys look at it, right, when this story broke out, everybody was talking about it. Obviously, as weeks progress and then now we're months in, people tend to somewhat forget and let go of that because there's something else to look at. So the case not going on, I actually do see it because not a lot of people are paying attention to it. But then at the same time, we need to also realize that justice still needs to be served because there are people that were badly affected by this whole thing. And the fact that it even had to be videoized and then people had to see it, there's just nothing right about it. And also, I just want to say, remember Musakola?
Yeah.
Still in jail,
Same
got
story.
bail, and then went to jail. So with this one, I feel like, is it being treated as a high case?
I mean, it's meteorized. I think that's the best that could ever happen to this story.
It is. I think so because ever since we found out that he was granted bail, it went back to trends.
Yeah.
So let's just hope that obviously justice will be served because apparently, allegedly, this thing has been happening for some time, and not only at Zanzu because the guy who owns this clubs. It's actually a white guy, and apparently he's not from South Africa. So it's not only a Zanzu, he has a couple of famous clubs, both in Joburg and Pretoria. So obviously also it's a high profile case, right? Because we're dealing with people that have money. I mean, if he owns a couple of clubs, then most likely, he's influential as well and coming to the pocket.
It goes back to what I said last week.
But then
If your pockets are full and they run deep, you get out of anything in this country because then obviously you know how bribe works, right? So I feel like at this moment, the best that could ever happen to the story is that it's going to go into the media. People are going to make a big hoo-ha about it, Black Twitter and an and, but that's where it's going to end, really.
We're hoping, but we're also gonna follow the story, right? Since we touched based on it, just so we can continue to inform our people as well around the whole entire thing.
I don't know. Also,
Let's test our power.
you mentioned that the owner, so this could be happening in other clubs that the owner owns, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are we then saying that the owner is the enabler of what's happening, or is the owner responsible of what the bouncers are doing? Does the owner even know that the bouncers were doing these things?
He knows because if my mind serves me very well, that guy is always trending, right? Either for good things or bad things happening around his businesses. So clearly he is aware. This is not the first stunt that I've read about, especially with an establishment that he owns. So he is really aware, if we're being honest.
As for enabler, I beg to differ. Because I feel like enabler means that he's the one giving them the right to do all of those things. It might be happening because, it's not well managed, maybe not well managed, but enabler, not much of an enabler, I don't think. Maybe that's a
But also the power lies with him, right? And if he's gonna give them power, then he's basically, giving them power to do as they please. Well, they're not supposed to abuse the power. The power might be coming from, this is an establishment, look after it, take care of it, make sure that, people basically that are coming here are safe and all that. And obviously, it's just an abuse of power,
And
especially from
this
bouncers.
is staff. It's not even like patrons. It's just staff.
That's my thing.
There might be an element of power there where the staff is abused for certain things or not doing certain things, right? Maybe, yes, we can say that he enables them, enables the bouncers because he gives them the right to do whatever that they want to do. But
I wouldn't really say that he enables the bouncers. I feel like the bouncers are abusing the power because obviously if I'm a business owner and then I'd be like, take care of this establishment and
And
make
I'm
sure
not
that everything
there.
is just going straight. In my absence, I don't know what's happening in my absence for
Yeah.
the most part. And I can't really say that there's cameras everywhere where, there could be footages of that really happening because from what we've seen, the footage that everybody saw came from a phone. It didn't come from the camera that is installed in the room. You get. But speaking of work, let's talk. Are you guys happy with your current jobs?
I'm happy. I'm a podcaster. That's the only job that matters.
Okay, let's start again. If you're happy and clap your hands. Okay, so you're all happy. And I hope it's not about the podcast. I'm talking about other jobs besides the podcast. We're having fun here. We're having fun. So Gogo Skhotheni is... So she changed professions. So she's... Okay, guys.
Continue.
There's nothing funny about that. I'm going to start again because you guys really interrupted me.
Okay.
let's reverse.
So Gogo Skhotheni changed professions from being a traditional healer
To
Gift, please say it.
what?
No, Gift should say it.
Why am I saying it?
Because you're the one excited to cover the story.
You're leading the story, right? But yeah, she's no longer a traditional healer now. She's a holy girl. She decided to, convert and go to church. She decided that I'm no longer going to sell traditional medicine anymore. I'm going to sell anointing oil. That's
wanna
business
ask,
there.
Don't you guys think this is a PR stunt?
No. Okay, well, I mean,
Because let me tell you why.
Yeah.
This lady is an owner of a club,
I was about
right?
to say that.
So she owns a club, and her owning a club and her being a traditional healer, those are two opposite ends of the spectrum, right? In terms of professions, right? I'm not gonna respect you for owning a club if you are a Kobela, kind of thing.
I think I would
That,
actually.
but normal African believers, right, feel like if you're a Gobela, you're supposed to stay there and all be like, not drink, not dress a certain way, not do certain things. I'm talking about people who are stereotypical
Okay.
traditionalists, right?
Is your mic not far? You're spitting facts there.
So
Make
what
sure
I'm
that-
trying to say is, it's a PR stunt because I'm not gonna do that and jeopardize my success in this club thing, right? So I might as well say I'm a holy girl and leave the traditional stuff, but still do it, right? And give everyone an NDA to say if you dare tell people that I still practice these things, then obviously I'm gonna sue you. I think this is a PR stunt of a note.
I don't know. I don't feel like it's a pure stunt. I watched the video where she told everybody that, she is no longer a traditional healer, but she still respects her ancestors, but now she's moving on to something different. But then also at the same time, I don't see any fault in this because we all have different traditions, right? And I don't think we all criticize ourselves of being like, if I say I'm leaving my current job right now to do something that's different from what I'm currently doing, there wouldn't be a lot of talks around it. But now we're talking about somebody who was a traditional healer.
Not
and
even just the traditional healer, the principle of.
traditional healing.
Yes, she taught
Yeah.
people how to be traditional healers.
She was also selling traditional medicine, including ours Jesu and all that.
soaps and stuff.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like the best jiso is very sad. Like, where are they gonna get this jisos now? Don't they need to be renewed?
There's Gogo Mawini for that.
I feel like Sibling is strong.
Duh, it's Gogo Mawini. There's Gogo Mawini for that.
Crazy stuff, right? Look, this is my take. I don't have any problem with someone maneuvering and finding themselves because I want to believe that everything in life is seasonal, right? But then, as long as she's not gonna scam people, because she was introduced to us as a traditional healer, she was selling traditional medicine. Right now, she is tapping into this. She has started organizing prayer sessions
For 7 hours?
Yes. Before we know it, people are going to be paying to attend such. Before we know it, she'll be selling your anointing oil and all that. That's where my problem is. She can go through all the transitions in life. I guess, that's life. There isn't really much that we can say.
I'm sorry,
My problem is when our innocent people are scammed in the process. Because also we need to consider that she is a celebrity, right? She has a whole lot of fans. She's approaching millions of followers across social media platforms. So obviously she's bound to be followed by a whole lot of people through her journey. As long as those people are not scammed, I'm good.
I don't think this has anything to, do with scamming or anything of that kind. I think Gogo Skhotheni is just a multi-talented individual who can tap into any industry that she feels she can excel in.
What a beautiful way to put it, yeah.
No, but honestly speaking, I don't see anything wrong with, I'm not really that well oriented when it comes to traditional healing and all
Yes.
of that, right? But if you are allowed to retire as a traditional healer and yes, still respect your ancestors and do something that is totally different, well, not really different because it's still spiritual in a way, there's nothing wrong with that. If only the anointing oil is going to help with the,
Do you know what my problem is?
what's your problem?
As a traditional healer, especially if you're a Kobela, right? There are certain things that you believe in that are so against streamlined Christianity, right?
Okay.
Like
Cook.
the believing of ancestors, the believing of like everything surrounding traditional ways.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just trying to find out, are you saying that you are not now believing in what you used to believe in? Because you can't just like change careers like that when it comes to spirituality. It's not a career. It's a gift. It's something that's innate. You're born with it. Right. So you can't now just say that, oh, you know what, actually, my gift is not towards traditional healing. Now my gift is towards just being. Is she a pastor? What is she? Right? Like, is she now a praying woman? And okay, what is she? Is
Most
she
likely she's going
Is she
there.
studying a church? Or because you can't say changing careers, because with her niche, right? It's from Gobela to maybe priest or pastor.
Yeah.
Right? So that's an equivalent of who she would be in streamlined Christianity. So what are we saying? Are we saying that she's leaving Hoba Gobela and then now she's
No,
the pastor?
I don't think she meant that she's completely letting go.
That's what she said.
That's
For
what
me-
she said.
That's what she said.
Okay, wait. From my end, there's only one line that she said that still is ringing at the back of my head, and that is she still respects her ancestors. So she still recognizes that part of her.
Hypocritical.
But can you retire also from such?
Very
I've
hypocritical.
never seen any traditional healer saying, "Okay, I'm good." It's only
There's another celebrity
lately,
that did the
especially
same.
in our generation. But under normal circumstances, yes, it might be happening now because there was an actor who was on Generations at some point. He went through all that, and then he also converted.
My
later.
point. That's who I
No,
was talking
But
that's
about.
not. He's not even that one only.
Yeah.
Mama Bahumi, what's her name?
Yes.
Babumi's mother, right?
Yes.
She was cutting things on
I
camera. And then,
remember.
with her, I'm trying to find out, where is she now? Is she just saying that I'm leaving being a Gobela just to praise God, solely God, or am I a pastor now? And for that to happen, there are certain things that you need to be ordained. You need to. There's so many things that need to happen, right? You don't just
she is
wake
born
up
again.
and say, you know what, I was a Gobela, so therefore.
True. I saw a clip yesterday. She was getting into church. I wish you could have seen, the cameras, flashlights flying.
love
And
it.
I'm like,
PR
oh
stand.
my
No, it's
God.
not PR. Love it for you, girl. You do you, okay? You do you. I mean, at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with the choices that you make, that's all that matters. Because if you're going to be paying attention to what, Janie is saying, Magivana is saying, and Hlezi is saying, I mean, because we said we are happy and we know it and we clapped our hands, didn't we?
Well, but okay.
Let's get into
I'm
the
not
questions of the
against
day.
her, ne? Yeah. Do me, I'm not against you. I'm just, I'm just trying to find out what is going on
No,
here.
but like, yeah, I mean, broader understanding of, how everything is currently happening.
Yeah.
Maybe that will like broaden everybody's knowledge. But
Still PR stunt, but yeah. But
it's not PR stunt. What can I change PR to? Not public relations.
I see Shell up.
Well,
go
since
to
we
the
are
bat.
on that tip, ladies and gents, boys and girls, this is going to be a special episode where we incorporate two of our best sets, right? We have entertainment, and now we're about to jump onto the world of hip-hop with an interview from the one and the only Vizion.
Big shout out. Big shout out. Okay, right. This is the part where we are going to be unpacking someone who's doing absolutely amazing in the hip hop space. Behind the scene, I was telling you guys that I've always wanted to, have a conversation with someone who is in the hip hop space. Because the last time we attempted to have a hip hop conversation, who's that DJ? DJ Slick or something. I want to get him right so that they don't come for us because
slick
he's...
or slicker?
Is it Slicker? Is it Slick? Who does a podcast?
He does a podcast?
Yeah, he does a podcast.
Switch.
Yeah. So we invited DJ Switch
What it threats?
to come talk everything hip hop here.
Used
And
to.
I personally said, I feel like hip hop is dying in the country. However, you could prove me wrong as someone who's, breathing and living the culture. Do you want to have a conversation about it? And he said to me, the fact that you believe hip hop is dead in the country, then there's
not
nothing that I can talk to you about. That is crazy.
Okay.
That is
Fair.
crazy, but
Fair.
we are going to be celebrating someone
Maybe
today
he felt
either way.
insulted. Maybe he felt insulted.
And would that comment also make you feel that way?
No, I would rather have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
To say, okay, if you think it's dead, what are you seeing that makes you feel like it's dead?
Yeah.
Because I think another thing that we tend to forget is if we are not exposed to something, we think other people are not in the same. We like if you're only seeing this, we all think that's all we are all seeing.
Yeah.
And other people are literally living and breathing it. I mean, it still fills up the club. If a DJ plays a hip hop song, it happens every time. If you switch from Mama Piano to hip hop, the mood goes up. Literally. Because I think I think piano has taken over the waves so much, but now it's reached a plateau where people now are starting to like, okay, we've heard it. Now we know it's here. We need to go back to our other alternatives, you know, because none of us listen to one genre of music.
That's true.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, so there's a mood for everything. I don't think it's dead. I just think piano is new and it's the new thing. So it's like, you know, it's like a fresh white shirt.
Yeah.
Right now, everyone wants, you know, everyone wants it. But as soon as the plateau really touches down, I mean, how many piano artists, new ones that you remember from last year?
Hey, they are a lot.
So
but I want
many.
you to give us your fresh introduction before we get into the conversations.
Yeah.
No problem.
Introduce yourself.
Introduce myself. I go by the name Tano Vizion. T Vision, as most people would know it. Formerly known as Neo Beats. I'm a producer, creative. Yeah.
Big shout out. Big shout out. Big shout out. Big shout out.
Artist, producer, creative. It's too many to mention.
Now we're gonna unpack them.
Man of many talents.
That's one thing I love about interviews because we get to unpack a lot. But in a nutshell, to someone who's currently watching, how do you best explain yourself? Where did you grow up? You know, what was happening in your life before you became the person that we know today that is doing absolutely amazing? What were your highs and lows?
Sure. So I grew up in Middlelands, Soweto.
Kondofai.
I think then when I was 10, I lost my left eye. Right? You know, the vibes. Then moving from there, that kind of like, in a way, propelled me, or rather, I feel like I always say God nudged me to the music. You know, because I think I was too active as a kid.
Yeah.
I was too excited, too happy. I was the guy that was literally jumping off the roof. I was that guy, you know. And I think that incident then calmed me all the way down. So I eat when you grow up, kids can be mean and whatnot. And I became the guy with the headphone. Then that's how I defaulted into music, because that kind of became a safe space.
Yeah.
Then later on brewed into a talent that I didn't know that I had. But along the way, then I found it. Let's see, that's primary school. Then high school, I went to Springs Boys High school. I moved around a lot. My mom was in the military base, single parent. So I never really had like one stable place. You know, we were just always up and down. But home, Gomagreza is Middlelands. And so that's pretty much how I ended up in the music space.
Nice. So when you eventually tapped into the music space, right? Was that in high school or was that after school?
Oh, no. That was definitely, maybe let's say late primary.
Ooh, that was early.
Yeah, very, very early. I was still a kid then. Late primary. I don't know, man. When I found music, I literally let go of everything else. Like, you know, even let's get in a silly gate for a little while. I had to, had to smack me right back into line. But yeah, man, when I found music, it's been a while.
And do you still remember the first song that you wrote, or the first boss that you wrote?
No, I don't. I don't. It started actually, crazy enough. When I fell in love with hip hop, I liked the fashion first. Then, you guys remember Fubu?
Yeah, yeah.
So there was like a Fubu cap that I had seen. I was so fascinated. Like, this cap, it's just a straight fitted cap. Okay. And I looked for one for years. I couldn't find it. Then I saw some dude go during break. Then I kind of wanted to go talk to him. Where did he find the cap?
Yeah.
As I follow him, I found a hip hop cipher.
Ooh.
And then that was the end. Then I never went back after that. So that's that's how I met hip hop.
Nice.
I want to take you back a bit, right, before we even get into music, because you mentioned something very important that, people were mean and all that.
Yeah.
So how did it affect your confidence, from being the person that you are, suddenly, having to face all the challenges that you went through. So how did it basically, impact you as an individual? And what were they saying to you?
All kinds of things. And they call me Popeye at some point. They call me all kinds of names, I used to wear a patch, an eye patch, before I got an
Yeah.
artificial eye. Um, it did impact my confidence. It took me a very long time to build the confidence. But one thing about me is I've always been somebody who's observant very much. And the whole confidence thing was, I think, I always make this example, and I feel like it's a bad one. I even feel bad. So there was this guy, Koskulo, in high school. I don't mean to be rude, but like that's like the ugliest dude I knew.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm saying this because, but one thing about that guy is his confidence peaked through the roof.
Oh.
He was a very confident person. So I kind of like in a weird way learned from that guy, to be like, okay, if this nigga looks like this, and I think Springs Boys High is right next to Springs Girls High.
Yeah.
So this guy used to date the hottest girl at Springs Girls. That's when I was like, something off here. Then that's when I learned the power of confidence. Then it became something that I built over time. It wasn't an overnight thing. But obviously doing music, having nice songs, you slowly become a cool guy. You get your validation along the way.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
the nicer the music, and then eventually you start realizing, okay, this is short-lived confidence from other people. I need to build from the scratch, and
But then a lot of time when people are mean, are just basically projecting.
Correct. All the time.
Yeah.
So I just want to speak of the single mothership, right?
Yeah.
So you said your mom was a single mom, and I just want to know, how did that groom and how did that play parts in you being the person that you are now?
Sure. So I had a very strict mother. Like I said, she was in the military, so you can imagine mindset, right? Very intense, discipline. She groomed me. She didn't groom me with a silver spoon, right?
Yeah.
I'm the only child, by the way. So she didn't groom me with a silver spoon. My mom was extra tough on me. And when I chose music, it was even worse,
Yeah.
right?
Like any parent.
It was like, you going to do what? From here on, as soon as I finished school, she was like, you're going to push this music thing for real? I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. She's like, okay. From now on, get off a roof, Lidijo. Anything else, what underwear or whatever you want in life, you have to go find it yourself. And I'm grateful. She's late now, but I'm grateful for that teaching, and I'm grateful for how I get some man.
Yeah.
If I could put it that way. She taught me to be responsible at a young age. She taught me to be very precise with the things that I want to do, things that I want to go for. Yeah, man. So I was raised very, very tough. My relationship with my mom only changed and got better. I think it's when around 2016, 2017, that's when I bought a house literally from the music.
Yeah.
So
Big shout out.
That's when
Big shout
that's when it
out.
changed. Yeah, thank you. That's when our relationship changed. Like, okay, hold on, something more.
Yeah.
But I'm like 31 at that point, and I'm grown, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least we got to enjoy those last few years that she had in life. She left the world very proud of me. So
That's
so I'm at peace with that's the one thing that gives me like literally the greatest peace.
No, that's beautiful. Then let's quickly jump into music. A very interesting topic that I want to tap into. First is first. We are a multi-racial country. We have so many genres. How did you finalize and come with terms that hip hop?
It's actually funny you say that. When I used to be called Neo Beats, I was a producer. slash artist. Back then, I was hip hop only, right? But I had a problem with the fact that people only thought I'm just a producer,
Yeah.
which, I'll take that L for that because I feel like I shot myself in the foot by calling myself Neo Beats, right? Then people just started boxing me in that regard. But later on, I went through some transitions because I was falling in love with other genres.
Yeah.
Like if you, for example, with my current album, there's a lot of Afro beats in it. It's hip hop, it's Afro beats, but I literally double in everything.
Yeah.
Even I've got I think 2 piano songs out there. They're also doing very well. So I'm not, when I switched to tunnel vision, I wanted to remove the limits, of just being considered a producer. And I needed it. It was a new time, new phase, new energy, new sound, So that's how
Yeah.
that whole transition happened. So yeah, at first hip hop was my thing, but now I'm very open minded, because I feel like I don't just rap. I also do vocals. I also do, so it's very dynamic.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And also, I like the fact that you mentioned the album because it was in late last year that you dropped Eye to Eye.
Yeah, December.
So, how did you then work around incorporating different genres into that album?
It actually felt natural. Like it didn't feel, because I think in the process, I was already in love with the music. I was already in love with the blend of hip hop and Afrobeat. They blend very well and easily. That is,
Yeah.
so many examples. Drake, Controller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So it didn't feel like I'm outside of what I'm doing. It just felt natural and part and parcel of the process.
So I see that you actually had a show at Soweto's Theatre, I think last year, December. So I just want to know, how did that change your perspective, or how did it maybe grow you as a musician?
Was it a one-man show?
Yeah.
A show.
Yeah, we did the theater last year because I've how did it change? I wouldn't say change per se. It just brought. It was a bittersweet thing for me. The theater was full. I got the support. I got the love. People came, but I think I had to deal with the reality of the people that I thought are with me are not with me. It was a room full of strangers. And one of the reasons I did that show was literally to see, and like, where's my fan base? Do I have a fan base? Where is it? What's going on? Because I think with the name change, I lost a lot of people.
Yeah.
In the transition. And also there was a quiet period in between that. Just me trying to find myself, find my sound, and figure out where I'm going. The theater made me realize that, that saying when they say, you gotta make it where you're from first to make it anywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like
Absolutely.
I feel like it's the total opposite, because none of the people, I did that show with the confidence of knowing that so many people know me and support me, and I always have their backs. I'm responsible for a lot of careers that you guys may not know about in the back, but I didn't get that support from those people.
Yeah.
I got the support from complete strangers.
Complete strangers.
So that it was a hard pill to swallow at first. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate it, and I appreciate that God still gave me people that showed up, but it also brought a lot of, truth closer, I went through, I could say I went through somewhat of a mini, I was excited, I was happy on the day, of course, everything went well, but with time when I sat down and I started thinking, I fell into a bit of I could say a mild depressed state.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know where to go anymore. Because it's like, how these people that I'm always supporting, I'm always showing up for, now it didn't feel natural to just go out there and just go support them. Like I have all these years, And it's different when people don't even ask you, how did it go? When there's no
so you
engagement.
got to that.
Yeah. Like, if someone says, oh, I can't make it, it's something.
Yeah.
But like when there's zero engagement, from the people that you always have their backs. It's such a weird transition. But I felt like, okay, maybe it's my time then to let go and do new
And let
things.
God.
Let go, let God do new things and find where my tribe is, you know.
True.
And it's been a beautiful journey. I can't complain about that.
Because I actually wanted to ask that, how has the people around you influenced your music? You know, because you did explain how your upbringing was to eventually your mom, you know, being happy with you being in music. And I just wanted to get like a rough picture of the people that are around you and surround you and how they, you know, have an influence in your music and the sound that you make.
Yeah, so I found a guy called Tony Worldwide, right? I could say that that's the guy that resurrected my career.
Yeah.
Because he...
Shout out to Tony.
Big shout out. Big shout out. Big shout out. Big shout out, Tony.
Because
We
I
see you.
was feeling... I was on the verge of just giving up, you know?
Yeah.
And then Tony was like, nah, but you still have so much to offer, you know? So he's literally like how can I describe it? He produced like 90% of the album. So when I started being more of an artist, I started producing music less, like as a producer, because I felt like if I'm gonna write songs, I want to have the full freedom to write a song with a fresh beat that comes to me without thinking of the beat and then moving from the beat, trying to do the song, trying to do everything.
To write the song.
Yeah.
It's good, it's doable, but sometimes it's just better when you were not involved in the production of the beat, and the beat just comes to you, because then it can just trigger your ideas and your thoughts so much quicker because it's fresh and, you know, your ears are ready to listen to something new, as opposed to if I'm going to make the beat. Now when I'm making the beat, I'm thinking about the rhymes. Now I'm all over the place.
It's also time efficient.
Yes, it's also time efficient, you know, other things. The people have influenced, Tony is like one of the biggest influences of the people that are around me now. I've got a very small circle of people. Obviously, I've cut it down majorly. Yeah, Tony being the main one, you know. He's one of like, I don't even know. Yeah, without that guy, a lot of things wouldn't be where they are now. So...
No, I love the fact that you are spitting facts, right? Because I think the reason why we have a lot of challenges as well in the entertainment industry, it is because there's a lot of pretense, right?
Oh, yes.
We don't take care of each other as artists, and yet we're facing so many problems. Imagine if we could unite, how many of those issues are that we could win, you know, against the corporates, big corporates that are taking advantage of the talents and all that. But we're never going to win those battles because, I mean, imagine you're doing a show, you're expecting everyone that, you know, you've supported, you've worked with throughout the years to come to say, yo, you produced 3 songs for me. Let me perform them at your show. Let me tell the audience that the song that you actually hearing me performing was produced by the person who did this show.
Yeah.
So you are spitting facts there. But then again, with everything that is happening, you know, all the achievements, because I'm aware that there's a hip hop award that you also won.
Yeah.
So where do you see the future of hip hop in the country? And what do you think perhaps maybe, you know, can be done so that we can really get it to where it was? Because also I understand that there are young cats that are also coming into the scene, like your Simamane, they still, you know, doing hip hop. So for people that think hip hop is dead, what's the best advice? What do they need to do also to maintain the standard that we knew that hip hop had before, you know, everything else that is happening musically in the country?
Look, man, I don't think hip hop is dead. I think what's actually happening is it's going through a transition.
Yeah.
Right. The eras are not the same, right? There's an era earlier to me and the volume.
Yeah.
The conscious rap. There was a lot of that in that time because if you think about it, the country just came back from a struggle. We just came back, so the hip hop was very intense and deep and political and whatnot, right?
Yes.
It's just now the switch is the kids are having fun because they didn't have to deal with the struggles, Saudi apartheid. They don't know that. And one, they won't listen to that. One, two,
Yeah.
they're living a totally different life. They living pretty much in the space where it was prepared for them to be like that.
Yeah.
So that they don't have to go through what the people before went through. Right? That's part one. And part two, I think now more than ever, if you look at the guys from Pretoria, like the hip hop is coming with fire. You know, like your Latinova pounds, your 25Ks.
25K is doing absolutely amazing.
Your that Short Blast, that guy.
Yeah.
You know, and that's Latinova. I don't think it's dying, dude. Like, I think I saw a video. There's a new kid. His name is Kindly Nash. He dropped a video. It hit like 1 million views. He's a kid.
Ooh.
Like, he hit 1 million views in like, what? I think in a month or less than a month. You know, and these numbers are rivaling piano numbers. You know, so to say it's dead, I think would be, it's transitioning. It's got a new face now.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. But definitely not dead.
Definitely not that.
Not dead. Because there's a lot of them. It's funny that you're saying it. Because yesterday, there's a point I was sitting at home and I saw so many new artists on YouTube. You know, like, I don't know. I just saw a video, then I clicked on it, then I watched it. Then there were so many. Then there was like a whole pile of them. Some guy shot a video with his phone. It's on 1 million views.
Ooh.
He shot a video on his phone. The quality is terrible, but the video's on 1 million views. Because people love the song. They like what he's saying. You know? Hence I'm saying right now the era is changing. Everything is changing, you know? The fact, like, what we're using now to shoot, you can do it with your cell phone. So it's a new era, it's a new time.
Yeah.
And I feel like the sooner people accept that, the more then they'll start seeing, okay, there's something else happening, you know, bubbling under. But I don't think it's dead. I don't think it's dying.
That
Just
makes
one more
sense.
question, right? I just want to find out, in your album, which song most embodies who you are?
The first song.
The first song, Eye to Eye?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want
the
to
first song.
maybe elaborate on that?
I think that song was like I would call it a lot of things that were on my chest, a lot of things that I have been going through. It's a very reflective song to say, okay, we're a long way from where we started. I guess right now, a lot has changed, and this is where I am now, and I can see growth and I can see direction. And it's just also, I'm just grateful in the song to say, yes, we've been through a lot, but we're still here, we're standing strong. And yeah, I think Eye to Eye would be the one song that, you know, hence it's the intro also of the album, because it's addressing a lot of the things that I kind of went through, going through, and I think the things that are coming through.
Nice.
Dope. In closing?
In closing, this is what I'm going to tell you. The world really needs your story now more than ever, because everything that you've mentioned here, other people are going through it. You know, it might not have to be in music, but then in just daily normal lives. And I think the one thing that a lot of people battle and struggle with is just boundaries and just having expectations, because that's also another thing that kills a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, but I really appreciate the fact that you came here, you told your story, you know, and your music is out there for everyone to listen. Your music is very personal, you know. It's not about the glitzy and glammies that we normally listen to. It's actually what real life is all about. And now more than ever, I do agree with you. People need to start adhering to adapt, especially with the sound that is coming, because we have something new that's coming in every day. And the only way in which this industry is going to be alive and continue growing is that everybody needs to bring in their new, fresh minds and ideas and innovation to just make everything happen. And you're just a prime example of that.
Big shout out.
Thank you
Big
so
shout
much.
out. Well, in closing from my side, this is home. And the reason why I'm saying this, it is because, right, as much as we are serving the country, we are a multi-racial country. We need to be able to tap into every little corner of the country, you know, especially from a pop culture perspective, either being music, dance music, hip hop, and all that. And the reason why I'm saying it's home, it is because I need us to constantly have these conversations so that we make sure that, you know, people like me that would easily say hip hop is that are well educated about, you know, the transitions and the changes that are happening in and around us. And more than anything, going through your profile, I want you to walk out of this room knowing that you are the best, you know, among the rest. And with all the stages that you've went through, continue to push your music. We're definitely going to support you no matter what. And at the end of the day, you know, together we can take the art sector, the the arts generally in the country, to the next level. And big shout out one time, brother.
Thank you very much.
And in closing from my side, I just want to appreciate the fact that there is some perspective into hip hop that we just tapped into.
Yes.
The fact that every music genre has a transition, and this is just a different stage of the era, and which is something that people do not. They rarely think of, right? If people are not dancing to that particular genre, we normally and oftentimes think that it's dead. But with your perspective, you open up our eyes to say that, no, this is just a transition. It's not that it's dead, right? Yeah. And just to say, my favorite song in that album is Choose in the Air. You guys must just go and listen to that song, because I lost my mom also at the age of 6. So that song resonates so much with me. And yeah, but your story is very touching, and it's something that a lot of people are going through. I haven't said to anyone, and it might not be the eye, it might be anything else that is, so touching to you that people are using against you, right? But with that, take this story, let it grow you, let it groom you into the person that you want to be. Vizion did it, so why won't you?
Big shout out.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you go through adversities, or you feel like things are in shambles, sometimes it's just God picking things apart for you, so that He can rebuild you without then. Because remember, He can't bless you if you are surrounded by vultures. So sometimes, those vultures, even we attach ourselves to those vultures without understanding they're killing us. So sometimes God will separate whatever it is that you're going through, or other, let you go through stuff just so you develop a thicker skin. True. Because He knows the purpose that He has for you. And on the other side, He knows how strong you have to be for the purpose you have to carry out. So respect that. Always be ready to adapt and respect. Whatever you're going through, appreciate it, be grateful. Even if it's the worst time in your life, be grateful. Because in that very moment, you'll learn more things than you will ever learn if you were in the perfect place and you're comfortable.
It makes sense. Powerful!
Like a fresh new white t-shirt. I hope now you have a brand new perspective and you now know that hip-hop is not dead, Gift.
Nah, definitely never gonna die. Never gonna die. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. And Skhotheni na Nadi Trendsetter. How is it that we are on 100,000 views and we're not on 50,000 subscribers? Do the right thing. We are out of here.
Take them out for dinner.